and welcome along to a new video where I'm going to talk about what films I watched in the month of July 2020. If you can hear any noise going on, it's because somebody's deciding to do a full extension to a house. This house will probably have about 10 stories by the time they're finished with it. They've only been doing it for about 70 years. Anyway, so there's quite a few, there's more than usual that I watched on streaming service and stuff like that, so I'll take you through them as well. So the first one I watched was a film. Me and my wife had watched all of the Godzilla films and we thoroughly enjoyed them. They were the Showa era ones, and then we watched the one that's in between the Showa region ones, Godzilla 84. Then Godzilla took a bit of a hibernation until 1989, and he came out in a film called Godzilla versus Biollante. Now this film here is extremely hard to get in on Blu-ray. In fact, one of them went on Blu-ray the other day for £100, and I thought to myself, I'll just start collecting these next ones because I want the whole collection of them. I would love somebody, Criterion or anybody, to release all these things. Like Arrow have just released Gamera. It doesn't seem it's going to happen yet. So these copies that I've got were off a friend of mine called Paul. He upgraded his DVDs to Blu-ray, and he gave me his DVD copies. And when I say copies, I mean copies, but we'll not go into that. And but it's the only way I can sort of see them at the moment. But I would get the Blu-rays tomorrow if I could, at an acceptable price, not £100. This film's good, but it's not £100 good. So anyway, so Godzilla vs. Biollante was a really good film, actually. The monster, which is kind of a little bit like a big rose, isn't really what I would call classic monsters for Godzilla, but this film itself was well done. I think it's from 1989, and it was very watchable. I was surprised. I thought these 80s, 90s ones, or even 2000s that they went to, would be a little bit poor, but they are quite good. So if you can get them, or you have them, you will know that they're a quite welcome addition to your collection if you can track them down. So after that, I'll have to look on my phone here to see what I got and when I got it. Yeah. So the next one I watched was a 4K of Moon. Now this film is, I think it's written by the same fellow who was directed by, if it isn't, but it might be. The director is, of course there's not an Italian here, is it? Anyway, it's David Bowie's son. Now, I can't remember his name. It's Summit Jones. That's David Bowie's real name. Duncan Jones. And it's a good film. I wasn't expecting this film to be what it was. I didn't know anything about the film. I didn't know what it was kind of like. It's quite of its own. The 4K in it looks really good, although the colour palette's quite muted. There's not much going on because there's not much. It's not like there's no greenery in it. It's just kind of a spaceship and the moon. That's it really. But that doesn't take anything away from it. It's really nice to look at for a clinical sort of look, in a way. I did enjoy it, but it's different to what I thought it was going to be. Is it a good film? Yes, it is actually, and it's strangely, how can I put it? It's always good to get a film that you put on and you're expecting it to be something, and it's not that, but in a good way, rather than you think, oh, this is going to be whatever. It turns out to be completely different, but it's a useless film. But this is a good film. So that's Moon. The next one was a film that I was really wanting to see because I was heard it was one of the best ever 4Ks going. So I thought, well, for that reason, I'll have to see it. Now, when I put it on, it is one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen. The picture quality in it is absolutely jaw-dropping. The colours on it, I've never seen colours like it. And as me and the movie collector talked about it the other day, the colours popped, although we're going to say things like the colour was vibrant. So it was really vivid and vibrant. And that is Mortal Engines. But, right, did I like the film? Not really. I was really wanting to like it. I know it didn't get a very good review at all. And I thought, well, no, I'm going to give it, I'm just going to, I haven't heard anything about it apart from that, apart from it's awful. So I thought I'll just get into it and just see what it's like, and just let it just go over my head and watch this and give it my own, judgment. And I don't know, I'm going to have to watch it again, probably with my wife, but it just didn't, it could have been much better. There's a character in here who I can't remember at all, but he's like a sort of bad guy, and he's brilliant. For me, he's the best thing in the film, but the special effects are phenomenal. And to me, if this character had been in more and done more things, and to be more about him in a more logical way, even though the film is preposterous, but they could have changed it if they went down a different alley for me. But yes, utterly stunning to look at, but very much hit and missy on the film. I don't know if on my second watch, if I don't get into it, then it's gone, unfortunately. But I would like to have liked it, but if you don't, you don't. The next one was, and I've done my review about this. You can just go and I'll link the review down below. And it's Death Ship. Love this film, always have done since I saw the pictures. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm sure this will come down in price, and it will probably even get in sort of the £10 mark. It's a film, it's of its own. Just really go and get it. I can't speak highly enough about this film, and the picture quality is stunning on this one as well. The next one was the one that I bought along with that title, and it's Female Trouble by Divine, by John Waters. This film I was getting a bit mixed up with, what was the other one? It was Desperate Living, 1977's Desperate Living, which I preferred a little bit better than this. This is one of the older ones, the one that's a bit more, shall we say, controversial, and it's nowhere near as bad as, not bad, it's nowhere near as explicit in that as Pink Flamingos, which is when you see that film you just can't believe what you're watching. This one here has got elements of that. It's got a really mad storyline and all that, and it's in very much bad taste, which is what John Waters loves. He goes out to make films in bad taste, and that's his goal. But the picture quality is pretty good in this one, even though it's 16mm. And if you like Divine, you'd like John Waters, it's a welcome addition into the collection, and probably the best it's looking as well with the Criterion release. It is, in my eyes, highly recommended, but it's not to everybody's taste. If you're going to start with John Waters, I urge you to start with Hairspray. Don't go straight for that or Pink Flamingos, because you might be not getting the right idea of them. Okay, the next one was a film that I wanted to see, but I didn't really want to buy it, and it's It Chapter 2. Yes, that's it, it's Chapter 2. Now, for me, it was too long. I did like it. I went to meet some of the pictures, and we both enjoyed it much more than I enjoyed the previous one. Although I liked Tim Curry, I didn't think I liked the original one. I thought it was too long. I just didn't like it at all. This one here, the first one was great, really funny. The second one, it has its parts, and I did enjoy it but I did find that it was just too long. And they're talking about making a supercut with putting more stuff into it. I don't think they should. I think they should have cut a little bit down. Funny enough, I don't find Pennywise scary in the slightest. I never have done. I don't think I ever will do. And also, I do think he sounds like a Scooby-Doo villain. I just can't take him seriously, but I do like the films. But this one is just not as good as the first one for the reason it's just too long for me. I like the characters in it though. And the next one was another one that I got. I watched that in Sky Movies anyway, in ultra high definition. It was quite good actually, quite good to look at. The next one was 1991's Godzilla versus King Gojira. This is following on from the 1989 Godzilla versus Biollante. And this film here was amazing, so funny, for all the wrong reasons. They have a fella in here, I think he's called KM11, that was it. He's a robot, and what he does is he runs, obviously he's got robotic speed and strength, and he can run as fast as a car, but you should see the special effects when he runs. They're just so comical. The film itself is an absolute hoot. I don't think they meant it to be like that, but it's so watchable. We had a really good time with it. It was one of the best Godzilla films I've ever seen, actually, and I can't wait to deep dive into more of this stuff. We've got all the rest of them to watch, but this was as far as we got this month, well, last month, should I say. And the next one was off Sky Movies, and it's Jay and Bob's reboot, Jay and Silent Bob's reboot. Now, I put this on, and after about the first 10 minutes, I thought this is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. I just didn't get it. I've seen loads of their stuff before, but I really thought that it just was, like stupid. It wasn't. It was Jay and Silent Bob are a bit daft, but it wasn't. It just wasn't coming across like one of their better movies. But after the first 10-15 minutes, when I got into the film, I must admit I really, really enjoyed this film. And I will say this is my pick of the month. I just can't. I went into the HMV the other day to buy it. It was £15, which I thought was a little bit too high. I think it should be around about the £10 mark now. But I will go and buy it. I just thought it was just an amazing film. I can't wait to watch it again. And so that's my pick of the month. If you like Jay and Silent Bob, great. If you don't, you might not like that film at all. But I think that's most of the things about their stuff. It's if you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't. But that's my pick of the month, Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And the whole way that they talk about a reboot is very, very interesting as well. How they put across what a reboot is and what's a remake and all that type of thing. It's great. It's a great little twist on the whole thing. There's loads of callbacks to their previous films as well. Speaking of which, because I saw that, I instantly went to the first movie from with Jay and Silent Bob in it, and it is the first film that's God almighty, when you just can't think of a name. Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, Silent Bob. It's the first film he made, black and white. It's very grainy, mind, and I think it's shot like that, 16mm. It's I don't know if, to be honest, I think the DVD might look better, because I think the blowing up of the picture quality on the Blu-ray has meant it to be more. It's always grainy anyway, but it's made a little bit kind of more grainy. But that being said, I didn't mind it. It didn't put us off or anything. So, but it's a super film. It's so funny. It's unbelievable. I just love this film. Always have done. And it's one of the best films. In fact, I like all of their films, and to a certain extent. The next film was a film that I'd been wanting to see forever, and well, I have seen, but I wanted to own, and I was holding off on Blu-ray because the Blu-ray just hasn't turned up. So it's Contraband, and it's got a lenticular case as well, which you can see. Now this film, I talked about it before in another video. It's got a decent print on it. It's fully uncut. It is quite brutal. Well, it's Lucio Fulci. It was made between Zombie Flesh Eaters and the City of the Living Dead. So I'm on a bit of a Lucio Fulci trip now. I'm going to start doing all his films, which I need to get this one to get on to the next one. So, but I'm glad I got it, and it was only $5.99 as well, and it's the only way you can get it. And this is the best DVD version of it in my eyes. The next film was a film called Mallrats, and the film is the next one in the series from Clerks. Even though some people say that this film was set before Clerks, you need to look at the timeline for Jay and Silent Bob on YouTube, and it'll explain to you what come first, this one or that one, or Chasing Amy, all them type of things, or Dogma. It's quite confusing in a way, but I like the way he's built up his empire. It's not his empire, his universal. Sorry, his universe. That's right, shared universe. And I watched, this one's got 2 cuts of the film. This is the American Blu-ray. You can't watch it on, it is multi-region. Sorry, it is region free. I watched the extended version, which got an extra 25 minutes in, and I must admit it was good, but the extra bits, it seemed to make the film a little bit more fleshy than it should have been. The shorter version, the theatrical cut, is the best one in my eyes. You've got a lot less storyline, you've just got more jokes, and this film is really funny, and Jay and Silent Bob come really to the forefront of this film. It's a great film, maybe my favourite one in their series, although the reboot one I really did enjoy much more than I thought I would. The next one was a film that I've been talking about. A movie collector had put a review on it, so it said it was one of the best ones he'd seen. So on that strength, I went and got it. It's Top Gun. Now, I'd never seen Top Gun before. I was never at this point in 1986. I was never a fan of Tom Cruise at all, and I didn't like blockbusters. I wouldn't go and see big blockbusters. That just weren't my thing. I just preferred more underground stuff. But so me and my wife watched it. The sound quality is amazing on it. The picture quality for outdoor scenes on my telly is amazing. The indoor scene seems to be a little bit more grainier, a little bit more, as movie collector said to us when I was having a phone call with him about it. It's a bit more noisy. Although he's tried it on his different systems, and he said that some of his systems means that the noise really isn't there. So I suppose it's horses for courses. I'm not taking anything away from it. It is a really good presentation on this film. It's not, I wouldn't say it's in my top 10 of films at the moment for 4K, but it's not to be put off. It is a really solid release, and the sound quality is amazing, and the picture quality as well, and the outdoor scenes is phenomenal for a 1986 movie. So yes, so I do recommend that one actually. And the last one I watched in the month of July 2020 is a 101 films, or is it 101 films? I'm not too sure. Is the Colossus of New York. Thoroughly enjoyed this film, and I'm pretty sure that Horror Hands got this one as well, and I think he had a good time with it as well. So and Horror Hands is a big fan, as I think I am as well, of like these old 50s sort of, you know, it's not like much of a creature film, but it's one of them B-movie things about something to do with space and monsters and all that type of thing. But this one's got quite a sort of good story with it, and it's quite, although it's, you know, it's a cheap film, it's only just over an hour long. It's really, really watchable, and I do urge people who are like these type of films, you know, The Day the Earth Stood Still, and you know, all them type of ones, Plan 9 from Outer Space. Check this one out, because it is worth a watch. Okay, so that's everything I watched for the month of July. It wasn't a great month for watching because I had a lot of stuff going on with the work in the house that we're getting done. There is my soundbar from my telly, which has come off at the minute because we've been moving that around that much that I've took it off, as well as me big woofer thing, just because to keep putting it back on and all that. I just got that out of the way till this work finally gets done, which should be done on August the 22nd. And I'm touching wood here, because to be honest, it's been penciled in from the end of May, but we'll not go into that. Anyway, so thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. So you take care. Cheers.